You got a timer?
Yep, right here.
Wait, I have time limit?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
You probably can finish.
Yeah, right. It's on me. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Ha! 99.9%. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, and all the boys and girls who have come miles away to attend the National Junior Forensics League. No matter where all of us are from or under what race we're categorized into, we are 99.9% the same. The Human Genome Project completed their 13-year research in 2003, announcing to the world of medicine and beyond this amazing revelation. That although at a microscopic level, DNA represents one unique signature of one human being. At a microscopic level, it reveals that human species is one recently developed family, that we all are so much more alike than we are different. In this speech, Francis Collins, a director of the National Genome Project, argues that the study of genome ought to be a great way to reduce prejudice, not to increase it. In his first part of his speech, he explores some of the medical benefits of the Genome Project. Then in his later part, he talks about the more controversial ethical issues. And the speech opens like this. What the heck is a genome anyway? That's a funny word, and some people have gotten it mixed up as a gnome, but it's not really the same thing. In fact, the genome is all of the DNA inside each cell of your body. And whatever living organism you happen to be, you have a genome. The human genome has 3 billion of those base pairs. That's our genome. That's a lot of information. So for instance, if you were to take out the DNA inside just one cell of your body and you were to stretch it out end to end, how long would it be? Well, it would be about that long, about 6 feet in fact, all packed inside each cell of your body. Well, what have we learned so far from reading this? First of all, we've been saying for the longest time that we have 100,000 genes. Guess what? That number is actually a lot smaller. It's probably about 24,000. And that makes our gene count not that much different from other simpler worms and flies and plants that we used to think we were really superior to. Another thing that we've learned that when you look at one part of the genome, it seems to be the most functionally important. We thought it would be pretty much the parts of the code of protein. You know, DNA makes RNA, makes proteins, but it turns out 2/3 of the most important part of the genome is not that at all. And it falls in places like we didn't recognize as being all that interesting. So we have a whole new area of research that has come out of the discovery. Thirdly, we have looked at lots of people now, and we have seen the similarity between yours and my genome is really high. In fact, we are 99.9% the same. And that would be true regardless of where your ancestors came from or mine did. The human species is one big, recently developed family. And that is pretty interesting. In that regard, we are a lot more like each other than other many species on this planet. You might ask, okay, the Genome Project finished all of its goals in 2003. What's next? Where do we go from here? Well, a lot of interesting things are underway. Begin the study of how certain diseases and what we might do about them. Consider the story of Sam. Sam is an old 7-year-old boy with progenitor, a very dramatic form of premature aging. Sam just looked like any other baby at birth, but by the time he was 4 or 5 years old, he took the appearance of a little old man. And so really recently, we had no idea what the problem was, but using the tool of the Human Genome Project and working with his friends, my laboratory was able to find one single letter that has been misspelled in the genome of kids with progeria. One place out of those 3 billion where there ought to be a C instead there's a T. That's all it seems to take in that vulnerable spot. But the good news is now it allows us to understand what this disease is all about. And we already now on the pathway towards developing a treatment. Is this only about rare diseases? What about more common conditions? Well, it's about them too, because we understand that virtually all diseases have some hereditary contribution, allowing us to understand what this disease is all about. And something about diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, asthma, high blood pressure, and heart attack. The genome project, called the haplotype map, is enabling us to go find those subtle sequence differences, those spelling changes, and that may place one person at risk for diabetes and another for heart disease. Is this a good thing to know? Yes, of course, because it tells us something about disease. It's going to affect medicine in a way that becomes personalized. Personalized medicine means not asking everybody to do the same thing, but actually having a program of staying healthy that's personalized just for you and based on understanding your DNA. It'll also be an opportunity to develop better treatments. Treatments that are based upon science-specific understanding of what's wrong with this disease. It will also allow the ability to predict who's going to respond positively to a particular drug and who really shouldn't have that drug because it's not going to work for them or maybe even make them worse. And none of this is science fiction. You can expect this in the next 10 or 20 years. Well, we also do need to be thoughtful. With all these advances and all the promise for medicine, there's the potential for the information to be misused. We also do need to be sure, for instance, the genetic information, which has so much potential to help the people, doesn't get used as anything. We all have glitches in our DNA, we all have misspellings in dozens of genes, and that's enough information to cause you to lose your health insurance or all at risk. There are other issues as well. One that people bring up fairly is whether often this sort of 0.1% of the genome will be used in ways to practice discrimination against people. But the bottom line is we all are so much more alike than we are different. And the more we study the genome, the more we know that. So I would argue as a scientist in this circumstance that the study of genome ought to be a great way to reduce prejudice, not to increase it. And finally, some people are worried about whether we use this information to try to create perfect children at some future time. Frankly, that is just scientifically wrong, because DNA does not determine characteristics like personal behavior or musical talent. We need an informed group of citizens, all of us, to participate in those discussions and make sure as science goes forward, it's done in a way that we all believe it's benefiting people to the maximum possible. And that is why I think we all ought to reflect on this remarkable moment we have in history. We've crossed the threshold. For all in human history, we didn't know about our own instruction book. Now we know it. And it's up to all of us, and that includes every one of you, to be sure that we use this information wisely. So thank you for listening. May all your bases be paired.